So here we are at the Nürburgring having a race with a few newer cars in the 71 240Z driven by the young marvel Bill Mullen. As you can see, he didn't qualify too well at the back of the pack, but here we are coming up to the top of the hill and the race begins. Now it's a quick run down to the first corner, a sharp left-hander, and you can see he's got it together quite well through there. A quick fly down through a series of S's. Oh look, and he's right on the tail of that Nissan 200SX. Coming down into the first set of S's. And holding it together and looking pretty good. It's a fast series of sweepers through this section. Coming down into a couple of sharp right-hand bends. Oh look, he's gotten the 240 past the newer Nissan. And he's going down through a section here called the Flugplatz, where actually the cars begin to get airborne, as you can see clearly there. A high-speed 6-gear corner here, which carries on to one of the fastest sections of the race course. Imagine it, 145 miles an hour, right on the bumper of the other car. Look at that. But as you can see, he gets pretty easily past the Camaro here. But he's coming up into a high-speed sweeper left-hander and into a tight third-gear right-hand corner behind the Mustang SVT and the Opel. Oh, it looks as though he's going to get past the Mustang, and he has, and it looks like it's going to stick. Only the Opel remain between him and first place here at this beautiful day at the Nürburgring. Coming down through the foxhole, as they call it. One of the most difficult sections of the race course where the car bottoms out, and you can see he got wide there, right up onto the grass, using all the course. Trying desperately to catch this Opel, which is a fast car, I might add. It's very light and has a high power to weight ratio. They're coming through here now through a section of the course called the Adenauer Forest. It's a very high speed section. Oh, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. It's not the Adenauer Forest yet. It's a few kinks and bends before the high-speed section of the forest comes up. Oh, look, there's a fight for first, and I think he might have taken it there. It looks like Mullen is using all of the course that he can right up onto the curbing. Oh, through this high-speed section as we come down. Coming to the lowest section of the course, the bridge at the village of Adenauer. We've got just a couple of sections here. This tight left and then right hand corner. And we go through another quick straightaway down this section as we race to the bridge at Adenauer, and you can see the village of Adenauer coming up on the hillside. Here we come through the bridge, a very rapid left into a very ornery right-hand corner here, up and over the rise, streaming off down this straightaway, which back in the day had no Armco barrier on either side, of course. Very high-speed section here, coming into a quick third-gear corner. Oh, all the track being used there. He's really on it, in that restored 71 240Z. And as you can see, he's got a pretty commanding lead at this point, but the question is really, can he hold on to it? It's a long track, it's bumpy, it's arduous. There's another very high-speed section of the course here, as you can see from the onboard camera, with a couple of sweeper corners that can really catch you out. Again, no Armco back in the day to hold the car back, just sticks and bricks, as you might say. And as we come up to this section, which is basically approaching the lower corner entering the carousel, we come through one more sweeper, and here you see on your left, that's actually the old hill climb section of the course that they had disbanded back in oh, sometime in the 50s, and we're aiming at the tallest tree on the hill here for the famous corner of the carousel. As you can see, oh, a little bit wild coming through the carousel there, but looking not so bad on the exit. He's got his line right, he's got his foot down obviously. Back to an onboard camera. Very high speed section coming up the hill now to the highest section on the race course before we plummet down through the Whippermans and off to the castle. Coming up here, and just off to the left there is where that hill climb section re-entered the section of the course. And now we go through a long section of a couple of miles of nothing but this sweepers to the left and to the right, punctuated by short straightaways with off-camera. Oh, look at that, he's gone off the course there, but he's kept it together. Looks to be drifting well through the course here. As you can see, still using all of the course. Highlights very nicely the painting on the racetrack. And still climbing, and now reaching about the top of the course right through this section, which we will now plummet down through the last section of Whippermans. Careful not to catch any air. Coming through this section right here, very high speed section with this very, very rapid right hand sweeper right here. Oh, getting a corner of the wheel up on that sweeper, coming up over this next rise into a complicated turn. It's an off-camber downhill turn with the car. Always catches air like that. Coming around these last few sections into the last section of sweepers of the course, into the corner here by the second bridge. I think it's the village of Bergenauer. And we rise up into the little carousel, which is a quick little second gear bend. And oh, he's gone off again, but it looks like he's kept it together pretty well. Coming up here now to a fifth gear corner. Tricky, very tricky to keep it on the course there, to keep it between the white lines. But it looks as though he has. Coming onto the back straight, we'll be doing about 163 miles an hour down this section of course. Looking good. Looking like he's got the lap here on this one. And as you can see in the background, the Opel is still dogging him back there, but by a good probably 8 or 10 seconds. I don't think Mullen's got anything to worry about here, as long as he keeps it on the island. No schlemazzles. Here we are, a very high-speed, tricky section of the course, coming from the fastest section into one of the slowest sections of corners, going all the way down to second gear. There's where the old new Nürburgring enters, and off into the pits Mullen goes, taking that lap at the Nürburgring.